Do you think people are self-aware of what they're good at and what they're bad at, and even self-aware of what fear they do or don't like?
I think some people are. I think other people are. Their perception reality is completely misaligned, and that they almost fall in the camp of being delusional.
Yes.
So I think it depends on the individual.
Because there is a fine line between ploughing on regardless, don't give a monkey's what other people think about you, which again I think is another thing. People worry about what their parents and their family or their wives think about them. And also just being delusional and never leaving a track that's always going to win. How do you get over that balance of being doggedly determined and knowing that you're on the wrong track and should be giving up because you're delusional?
So there's two things. One, the great thing about our industry, there are external benchmarks of what success looks like across the industry. So people need to do more benchmarking in terms of where am I against the mean average, and understand.
I think most of them know where they are market share wise or turnover wise.
But in terms of really understanding the measures in their business about where am I with my average fees that I'm charging, where am I in terms of how much am I selling above list price or whatever, they're not getting down to the real metrics to understand their measures of success.
Okay, so they've got to know the numbers. What else do they need to do?
The second thing is that we have to spend more time on the balcony, not on the dance floor.
Good one.
The balcony of the life is the opportunity where it's almost like having your out-of-body experience, where you look on yourself sat around there in the business, but it allows you to have a fresh perspective, the helicopter view. And the problem is, so it's like being in amongst the trees. Some people are so busy in their business that they're not taking the time to get on the balcony, out of the crowds, on the dance floor, to be able to have that fresh perspective and look down about how well things are working.
Almost, you've got to take a step back and look at if it was your mate's business, because we're all very good at giving opinion on someone else, but give opinion on yourself, but taking the emotion out of it.
Absolutely. It's like being your own performance coach. One of the concepts I talk about is in life, it's about being your own performance coach. And one of the things that we do in our business every single year at the start of the year is, as a leadership team, we say, if this was the first day that we walked into this business and we were a new leadership team taking over the business, what would we do?
And most people could do that very easily.
Absolutely.
It's just that you get too
bogged down in the detail of all the multiple things that you've got to do every single day.
Spinning the plates.
But you've got to make conscious time to get onto the balcony, to reflect, to be challenging yourself and ask the questions about how well are things working, what could I do differently, what is working, what isn't working, what do we need to change, what do we need to tweak.
And sometimes you could talk to your other half, but probably just speak to someone who's, not everyone can afford a coach, and I know you don't do one-to-one coaching either. I couldn't afford you, so God help the rest of you. Really nicely, what about going to see some family friends or other business people who aren't competitors, but, and asking their opinion and just talking to people?
Absolutely. There's so many mastermind groups and events that are out there, even fellow professionals in other businesses. I always find that people are
It doesn't have to be estate agents,
No, it doesn't have to be estate agents. Some of the best ideas don't come from your industry. And this, again, is something we get stuck in, that, you need to understand our industry. No, having somebody from outside with a fresh perspective who will ask you questions because they don't understand will give you phenomenal value.
Interesting. Thank you very much, my friend.